Hey, Esol All-Stars, Austin here. My biggest takeaway from the video lecture given by Professor Jamal Abedi of the University of California, Davis, on ELL focused accommodations is just that assessment accommodations for ELLs be focused on ELLs and creating a fair assessment by making accommodations for lack of proficiency or cultural awareness with respect to language. It was unbelievable to me how thoughtless some of the accommodations listed were. Many of them seemed to be copied over from ESE accommodations. These are important accommodations to consider because it's really disturbing to me that the body that created the list conflated being an English language learner to having a learning disability, while not knowing enough English or the right kind of English to pass a standardized test is a form of handicap or disability. Learning a language should be a temporary state after which someone whose second language is English should perform similarly to someone who is a native English speaker. This much should be obvious, but as evidenced by eugenics trends and recent increases in white nationalism, the need to remain vigilant is the assertion that children from all races, in the assertion that children from all races and backgrounds learn similarly is as important now as it ever was. Setting English language arts aside for a second, it's very important for us to consider solid ELL accommodations with respect to content area assessment in math, science, and social studies. These are subjects for which English language learners may have considerable background knowledge in their primary language. This may be an English sheltered, they may be in an English sheltered classroom in which they have read, listened, and absorbed much information through hands-on activities, maybe, but cannot yet articulate what they know in an English language assessment. Assessments use jargon and standards in language unfamiliar to many children whose first language is English. So to expect understanding from English language learners is definitely a field too far. The high expectation, as it should be, would be that all students, including English language learners and LEPs, will at some time be able to understand questions and attest to answers in a standardized assessment. But scaffolding in this assessment is very important. If we want to measure what an English language learner knows on a math test, for example, we have to make sure that the ELL first understands the question, but also understands the answers. Translating the test to the student's primary language is the best way to assess non-English related content knowledge. Testing in English, especially academic English, is giving ELLs the extra challenge of not knowing the test's content knowledge, but it's also testing English proficiency, if I explain myself correctly there, for which native speakers have an advantage. As we look for a system in which equality of measurement is key, language accommodations are the only and best solution for making fair assessments. As a developing teacher, this chapter and discussion provided more tools and motivation to tap into each of my future students' highest potential. I'm a strong believer in the universe of possibility inside of each and every one of us. We are all endowed with special gifts. Some of us will not discover such gifts until the ends of our lives, and some of us will never discover these gifts. Unfortunately, many of these gifts sit locked and buried like diamonds embedded in coal. Limited English proficiency provides an extra layer of opacity against clarity of what these children have to offer the world. As teachers, we must be expert excavators, where we can teach students to be their own miners. All the easier will their self-expression become in future endeavors. However, where the dust is too thick and the job is too heavy for a child, it is incumbent upon us as teachers to make accommodations and bring clarity. Thanks for listening, and all the best in getting the job done effectively in your classrooms. Please wish me some luck too. Thanks.